what's going on everyone? So basically, as per the crowd request, I'm rating all the race drives, more importantly putting them into tier lists. Now the way I actually did my tier list was basing it on 5 different things. So that was if you can use them in a combo. So once you've already launched them, can you use it after the screw or something like that to extend the combo for like really good damage. If it's a launcher on hit, if it's a spike rage drive, the speed of it as well. So if it comes out slow, then obviously it's going to be rated lower. And the on block situation. So if you're plus frames and whatnot. And yeah, so after sorting through all the rage drives, this is the tier list that I come up with. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Alright, so first up in S tier, I've put a number of rage drives that are similar. So we got Dragunovs here. Obviously, everything about it is amazing. So on block, the situation's great. You're obviously on plus frames. You can do whatever mix up you like. On hit, you get a full combo. And on top of this, it's got an extra addition to it, which is the tackle, which is actually an unbreakable tackle. Obviously, you know, there's no mix up with that, but it actually hasn't been used in that long. I actually think you can still catch people off with this tackle. But yeah, as I mentioned at the start of the video, the big 3 are if it's got combo potential, if it's fast, and if it spikes to get an extra big damage hit. And this hits all 3 of those, so perfect race drive. Right next to Dragunov, we got Aska. Very similar to Dragunov's race drive, does all the same things. Only difference is it's got an easier input, and it actually is plus 11, so way more plus than Dragunov's, and basically you can get any move you want after this. Yeah, super good race drive, and the follow-up hit with the spike version does a ton of damage. So next up we got Brian. He's also in S tier. Again, like the last two I mentioned, his does the exact same things. His is only plus 6, but I mean, I don't know why I'm saying only. Plus 6 is huge. And yeah, at 18 frames, it's really quick. So again, S tier race drive, perfect in every way. Another thing I would just want to mention about these race drives is the reason they are so good is because they have so much utility. I mean, you can launch with one, you can use it in a combo, you can use it just to get the plus frames to get advantage of a situation. Like, they're the best race drives in the game, no doubt. So next up, also in S tier, we have the newly changed Heihachi race drive. So before, this would have only been A tier, but because you can actually get a full counter hit string with a jab now, for Heihachi's rage drive, it's definitely S tier. So that's essentially a 10 frame rage drive combo you can get. On top of this, it does huge damage as a spike combo ender. And even if you just want to do it for the plus frames, you have a 10 frame interrupter. So if the opponent's like lashing on you heaps, as long as you can fit a jab in, you can get your rage drive in. So while a lot of people call Marduk's cheap, it is definitely S tier. The reason for this is, it's not like the ones I've mentioned before, but it's just as good. If you land it, you actually get a 1 in 3 chance of doing upwards of 75 damage and more. They have to guess, and they only have a 33% chance of guessing right. So 1 in 3. Now, if it's blocked, you still get a 50-50. A lot of people duck because, you know, the low option is much more threatening, but I'll talk about the mid first. The mid is just a solid mid, pretty chunky damage hit. If they stay standing to avoid this, the low actually puts them back into the ground and pound stance, and again they have to guess out of 3 different options. And on top of this, it can be used in a combo as well. So as you can see here, in a combo it does heaps of damage. And it's, yeah, as I said before, the key to a good rage drive is lots of utility, and this has heaps. So Kazuya's is S tier because it can be used in a wave dash as a mix-up. You can do it on its own for big damage, or you can do it in the middle of a combo to extend it and also carry to the wall, so that's great. It can also be used to safely transition into devil mode if it's landed. And finally, even on block, you've got a great situation at plus frames. Do whatever mix-up you like, comes out quick, and it also high crushes at certain moments, so top tier race drive. The final S tier raise drive, I'm sure everyone would have picked this, is Steve's second raise drive, or his newest raise drive, which is a 14 frame launcher. So as you guys know, it can be used as a punish, so that's insane. And on top of this, you can get a full combo, as I said. The range on this is actually insane, and it can also catch people rolling on the ground. So as I said, again, I hate to say the same thing, but it's all about utility. And obviously Steve's new one, it has tons of that. So to kick off A tier, we got Kazumi here. Now, the reason she's not in S tier is because if it's blocked, you don't actually get any frame advantage. It knocks them far away. And on top of this, you can use it in a combo at the end of a combo, but it's nowhere near as good as the others. And it doesn't spike or anything. You just gotta hope that you hit a wall, I guess. But it does have obviously great combo potential, and it's super quick, so that's why it's in A tier. So Alyssa's is a lot like Kazumi's in the way that it's quick and it's got combo potential if it's landed. And it's also got great frame advantage on block. A lot of players use it just to get the frame advantage and, you know, try for a mix-up. So yeah, it's a pretty good race drive. So Feng's is pretty straightforward. If it's on block, then obviously you're at plus frames and it blows them back to the wall. If it does hit, you get a wall splat. And also being 13 frames, it's also a punish. Yeah, if you get the wall splat, it's pretty good if you can get the resplat and get a full wall combo. And it's great to get you out of trouble as well. Leo's is pretty much the exact same as Feng's. So yeah, you can wall splat for a full combo. And the same goes for Paul, except Paul's base damage for his raise drive is insane. 60 damage just for it on its own. So we got Jin here in A tier as well. Now his is very unique. It comes out super quick. The full string does 70 damage. And the best thing about it is you can actually stop it halfway. So the reason I put Jin's in A tier is because it's very unique. As you guys know, you can stop it halfway to get a free mix-up. It's also super quick to come out. Obviously you can do it out of crash dash stance. And on top of this, it also wall splats if you land the full thing really far. So yeah, it's a pretty good raise drive. So King's raise drive is also super sick. It was just about to be S tier. I thought a lot about this, but the fact that it's 20 frames, it's actually a bit slow to do in neutral. I've actually been hit out of it a lot when I was playing King. Apart from that though, it ticks all the other boxes. As you know, it spikes. You can use it as a combo starter. It's great for people that stay on the ground. It's got a lot of good Oki options as well, if you hit this after a grab or something like this. So yeah, it was so close to hitting S tier, but just the fact that it's a slow startup, it just gave it that little bit less utility in terms of in neutral game. So Anna's is also in A tier. It has great utility in the fact that it puts her in full crouch, so you can get lots of full crouch mix-ups, and everyone knows that her full crouch game is actually top notch. Again, it's a combo starter as well, and you can use it as a spike ender. The only thing that takes it away is, again, the slow starter. And the input is, it's not difficult, but in that clutch moment, it's possible to screw up the input. Maybe you might do the input a bit too fast and you might not get the end, and it might come out as a different move. Other than that though, pretty good raise drive. So obviously Ravens is good because you can use it as a whiff punisher and you get a combo out of it. The reason I almost put it in B tier is because the range actually is worse than you would think. It can actually whiff quite easily at a range you would imagine it would hit. Nonetheless though, it is quick and it does give you +5, so it's actually still pretty good. So I actually think Negan's is really solid. As you guys know, it's got 3 purposes. One of them is just a regular launch. The other one, it knocks them into the wall for a wall bounce, and the other one knocks them away from the wall to strategically get a bigger combo if you're too close. It's also got plus frames, it's relatively quick, and you get lots of reward out of it if it's landed, and you also get a good situation on block. So altogether, yeah, I would call this A tier. Nina's is actually super great as well. it does 50 damage on its own if it's landed. On block, you are an insane amount of plus frames. I think it's 28 frames or something like that. So you have a great situation. She goes into a crouch dash as well, and she has throws, mids, lows, highs, plus frames, everything out of this. So really, really good race drive, and obviously it wall splats as well. So it does definitely have some great attributes to it. It also low crushes at certain points as well because she jumps, but it is a bit slow in the neutral, being 20 frames. So it's a bit hard to whip this out when you're getting pressured. So Josie also makes it into A tier based on the fact that she's got a really good crouch dash mix up. So you can annoy people with the low over and over again until you think they're going to duck, and then you can land the race drive. And if you've seen the damage for it, it's huge. So the reward definitely pays off if you can make them duck. The downside is it pushes them away, and it's also not that quick in neutral. So basically as a get off me, it's not that good. Aside from these though, the good outweigh the bad. Okay, so I don't verse a lot of Yoshimitsus, but I hope the Yoshimitsus out there do use this a lot because, I mean, this is a super good race drive. It's really quick, so it can be used easily in the neutral game to come back. It's got combo potential. It's actually a second screw if you do it inside of a combo. And it also has a really decent hitbox as well. So next up we got Xiaoyu. Obviously hers is insane because it's a low launcher. That being said, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. You have to be in back turn. Obviously she has heaps of mix-ups in case people duck as soon as you get back turn. But on top of this, a lot of people don't know this, but you can actually punish it with a 13 to 14 frame move. It's not an official punish, but they can't block after it as they go into AOP. So weighing up all these, I would still call it A tier because if you land that launcher, it's a huge comeback potential, and it's obviously super quick and unseeable as well. So Lei's Snake and Dragon race drives, they work exactly like Paul's, Leo's, and Feng's. So obviously you get the pushback, you get the wall splat if it's landed, and obviously you can follow up with the wall combo. His Tiger raise drive, however, is not only plus frames, but it also gives you a full combo on hit. Now this is super good because everyone knows that in Tiger stance, Lei has an amazing low that's a full combo. So this gives you the greatest 50-50 in Tiger stance. The only downside to this is you have to get into Tiger stance first, and most transitions, if they're not on hit, they are definitely interruptible. I'm pretty sure you can even get a hop kick out of all the transitions on block. So to easily segue into B tier, I gave Lei's Crane drive a B tier only because it's quite difficult to get into crane stance and be able to use it without getting poked. And obviously if you rarely get the chance to even use it, then it's not that good of a raise drive. So as I've been saying throughout this whole video, utility is the key, and Jack's raise drive only has one utility, and on top of that it's borderline seeable. So although it is a safe trip, it can actually be seen and low parried, and that's pretty much why I rated a B. I rated Horang's raise drive a B as well, or his first raise drive that is, because just for the fact that yes, it does spike and you do get a big follow-up, but the fact that even if you land it as a counter hit, the third hit can still be blocked. So just for that reason, you'll probably never ever see this landed because no one's gonna, just hold forward after getting hit by the first two hits. And I've honestly never seen this raise drive hit in my life. So yeah, that's why it's B tier. So first up we got Bob. Now he's in B tier because obviously it's a slow startup and the only thing you get out of it is a mix-up. Obviously if you land the race drive, it's a guaranteed follow-up, but it's pretty hard to hit this raise drive, and I'm pretty sure you can be floated out of it as well. So yeah, it's a B tier for me on this one. Next up we got Claudio. Sort of the same deal with Claudio. His startup is actually pretty slow, and obviously before they had to change the input because it was a bit fiddly and it wouldn't come out. But even with this, it's still not that versatile, and I mean the options after aren't even that great. So yeah, I rate this B tier. Devil Jins is next up. So his is a knockdown that's a low, so that's super good and it's unseeable. So you'd probably think it would be rated higher. But the thing is, it's punishable. It's minus 14, and 14, some characters can get a huge punish and even launch it. And on top of that, when you're low, I mean, people probably be looking out for that because they know you want a quick way to come back, and obviously no one's guarding their legs all the time, so there's a good chance someone will go for this when they're low health. On the bright side, it has really good range, and you can actually get upwards of 60 damage if you have the execution for it. So I put Eddie's in B tier as well. I mean, some people can argue it could be higher because it does launch and it's 15 frames, but to me, when I play Eddie, it feels a bit clunky and the hit rate is pretty low. So this being said, and it also puts you in relax, so you basically have to commit to pretty hard mix-up because you can't block after it. So yeah, it's B tier for me. Lucky Chloe's is almost identical to Eddie's, aside from the fact that it actually has a free follow-up hit which does tons of damage. So besides that difference, pretty much everything I said about Eddie applies to Lucky Chloe. So Julia's is around the same speed as the last two I mentioned, but the fact is you don't even get a full combo off this, you just get a wall push. So obviously it's good at the wall, or if it lands, you get a full combo at the wall for it, but just landing it is pretty hard. I mean, a lot of Julia players that I see play, they don't actually land this rage drive a lot. So Gigas's rage drive is next. I would have put his higher if not for the fact that you can actually jump and get out of the mix-up altogether. If they don't jump, it's actually really good because you can delay the timing on the one or the two. This lets you keep a lot of really good pressure because they basically can't do anything while they're stumbling. But just the fact that when a Gigas is low, you can just keep doing jumps from far away and you know you're not going to get hit by the rage drive. Katarina's I put in B tier because you do get huge damage if you put this at the end of a combo or at the end of a wall combo, but the fact is you have to be in Harrier stance to use it, so I don't think it's that viable as a comeback mechanic or in the neutral game. You know, you got to land a hop kick first or some sort of counter hit just to use this rage drive. So Kuma's is great for the fact that it's quick and it's a launcher. The only reason I didn't put this in A tier and it is in B tier is because it knocks them far away and you don't get any plus frames. This basically makes you limit your use of the rage drive because once you use it once, it's gone. Whereas the other ones that are better, they give you plus frames and leave you close to the opponent so you can keep your pressure going. Lee's rage drive I put in B tier because while it does have combo potential and it's quick, it pushes them far away, like I said, so you don't have plus frames after. And on whiff, it's terrible. You can actually get launched really easily for whiffing this. So yeah, it's B tier for me. So Lily's rage drive, similarly to the ones I just mentioned, if it's blocked, they get pushed far away, so you forfeit your plus frames. But aside from that, it has good range and you get a full combo off it as well. So obviously we know Miguel's isn't the best. People usually use it to pick up the down back one combo just to get a bit more out of it. But it does have its uses. As you can see, you can get 65 damage out of the rage drive combo. Aside from that though, it's pretty useless. It is +3, but it pushes them far away as well. Not as far as the others, but I mean, you're not right next to them. So as you guys know, I play a lot of Shaheen. I actually would have loved his rage drive if it was mid-mid. I'm not really sure why they made his mid-high, but its range is actually amazing. It gives you a combo, it gives you a double screw. It's great in every way except it can be ducked on reaction. So if it wasn't for that, it would have been much higher. But because of that, it's B tier. So basically Noctis's rage drive is the bootleg version of Fang's, Paul's, and the others that I mentioned earlier. Not only does it give you less plus frame, it's only +2, but I mean, it's hard to get any mix-up at all out of this because no one's going to really respect you too much since you can only get a jab or a down, not even a down forward one. Anything that's 10 to 12 frames is all that's guaranteed. That being said, it does have crazy whiff punish potential and really good range as well. So I've got Steve's second rage drive here, or his first if you played Season 1. Now the reason it's ETA is because yes, it auto blocks, and yes, at the wall it's amazing. It's a guaranteed 50-50. But other than that, in the neutral game, I mean, as soon as someone sees you weaving, they're just going to block. And on top of this, all you can do out of this to mix it up is to stop weaving, and then there's your rage drive gone. So yeah, pretty useless aside from the wall. The only good thing about it is it does give chip damage at the wall, so you can kill them if they're on a spec. So I've got Horang's second rage drive as well here. The fact is, I mean, there's probably a reason why nobody uses it, right? The reason I think it's bad is because no one's going to give you time to do this move in neutral game. I mean, of course you can use it for combos, and I'm sure that's what it intended it to be, and it does give you a double screw, but presented with the choice, the other rage drive is still better because it gives you a free mix-up and it's quick. And this one, yeah, no one's going to give you time to get that move out, man. So to kick off C tier, we've got Armor King. Now, following the criteria, you can't use his rage drive in a combo, it's not a launcher, doesn't spike, and it's slow. The only good thing obviously is you get a guaranteed throw out of it, but I think overall its utility is pretty low and it's very situational, and obviously the opponent can duck so you can use it as a mind game, but I actually don't think it's that good in a match, and I think he's got better options to use even without the rage drive. Next in C tier we got Lars. The reason I ranked Lars in C tier is because his you can only use out of a stance, and the stance transitions you can actually be jabbed out of. So it's really not that versatile, and all you get is plus frames. You can use it in a combo, that's the only good thing about it, but obviously you can't use it just out in the open in neutral game. So that sort of kills the rage drive utility for me. Now, although these aren't ranked in order, I would convincingly say Lars is definitely the worst rage drive in the whole game. This rage drive is so slow. 24 frame startup, there's actually no point doing it when you're low health to come back, because if the opponent's somewhat decent and they have good reactions, they're just going to low parry this straight away. I mean, yeah, it looks cool, but in overall utility, it's got zero. All it does is give you a low knockdown, which is, I mean, let's face it, it's like a hell sweep. But Hell Sweep you can use over and over again. This you can only use once, and it's seeable. So it's a seeable Hell Sweep. Pretty terrible if you ask me. But yeah, there you go guys. That's my complete tier list for the characters. Thanks for the suggestion. I'll make another post soon, and you guys can put down what you want to see. Take it easy for now guys. Peace.